In this video, I'm going to teach you how to be able to make a dedicated Arma Reforger server on your gaming computer, or maybe a separate laptop within your house, or maybe you're building a box for your community. And I'm going to take you from downloading the Arma Reforger server option on Steam all the way to stepping inside your server on this video. Now, the first thing you are going to need to do is port forward. Port forwarding is a very common thing. There are videos all over YouTube on how to do this, but I'm going to teach you to do this here so you don't actually have to do it yourself. This is what your router home screen looks like. This is a Netgear one. You can find this by typing in an IP address at the top of your screen, and it is found, the information for it is found on the back of your router. Here's an example of it here. You can see it has like an IP address that you type into the address bar of your web browser, and then it will have your username and password. The next thing you need to do is you need to be able to access the advanced settings so that you can go to the, I guess we'll call it a firewall of your router. So your router will ask you for a password. So make sure, this one doesn't have one in this photo, but make sure you have that on hand so that you can put in the password or maybe username as well, so that you can access the advanced settings. When you do, you will end up in the firewall like this, and you will need to open ports. There are two types of ports. There is a TCP and a UCP, and you can see here that we can name them. It'll ask you to pick the computer that is registered on your router for port forwarding. So this could be your gaming computer or the laptop that you're using to put your server on. You will then open the ports here. So this is 27015 up to 27035. And you can see here that we have identical. One is for a UCP and the other one is for a TCP. But this is something that you can actually put on one line. If you click here, you can see that there is an option to be able to do both of them. I've just chosen to do one for each. I did this when I was new. You'll also need to open port 17777, 2001. Okay, make sure you save. Okay, and then that is the port forwarding side of the server done. And it is most likely the reason why people cannot see or join your server. Okay, make sure you hang around to the end, because there is more information about this later. So make sure that you get the whole picture. Watch until the end. So now what we want to do is we want to go to Steam, and we want to download the Arma Reforger server, which is free. And it is sitting in your library, but it's just filtered out at the moment. So go to games here, okay? And this is a filter bar. And then what we want to do is we want to add tools. So click and then activate the tools filter as well. Okay, it's going to ask you a weird question, just get rid of it. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to scroll down to Arma Reforger. And what you'll notice now is that there is way more things in your library. And under Arma Reforger now, you'll have all these experimental things, and then, you've got like experimental servers and stuff like that. None of this matters to us. It doesn't matter. And this is the Arma Reforger workbench. It's called Arma Reforger Tools. If you want to mod, you could download this and then go through the grind of trying to learn how to do this, but it is rewarding. But this is what we want. We want to install the Arma Reforger server. It's only 5 gig. Okay, so what we're going to do now, by the power of editing, I'm going to install it, and then I'm going to come back once the installation is finished, and then we'll continue on. Okay, and that's done. So we don't launch the server from this launch button. This will just launch a vanilla attempt. Okay, so, and it'll most likely just crash. Okay, so we don't launch from here. We will never use this platform again to access our server. So what we want to do is we want to be able to access the local files. To be able to access local files, right click on the Arma Reforger server, head down to manage, and browse local files. Okay, so, and then you can see now that this is in the Arma Reforger folder, and this is where we're going to work from the whole time. So we need to be able to make some different files. So I want you to go to options here. Okay, click on this. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that certain things are available to us. So we want to make sure that, so make sure you go to view. Okay, in here, we wanted to make sure that this is clicked and then this is not, because we need to be able to create a text file and then rename it from a text file into a bat file or a JSON file or whatever we need. So what to do now is we're going to make a new file. We're going to make a new folder. So here we're going to call this as configs, because we want to create a place where we can keep all our different JSON files. So even though I'm going to teach you how to make one JSON file, you're probably going to need many JSON files. Saves you having to retype everything out every time you make a change. So what we're going to do here is we're going to now create a bat file. A bat file basically is a file that is executable, and then what you can do is you can place a whole bunch of other executable files inside. This is how we're going to be able to run the server that we want to. So rather than clicking the launch button, we are now going to create our own launch button in a way. So let's call this server.bat, and then we just hit enter, and then it will ask us, oh no, you're doing this thing, and we're going to click, yeah, we know we're doing that. We're changing from a text file to a bat file, and Windows wants to make sure that we're okay with this. And we're just going to go, yes, continue. Okay, because a bat file is kind of how people put viruses on your computer. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to open it in Notepad or Notepad++, depending whether that you have that on your computer. And then we're going to copy the link, the code in the description, the small code, and we're going to paste it here. So in case you're wondering which piece of code, it's this piece of code. And basically what this does is this executes the server and it says, use this config file to build the server. Make sure we save it. So we want to save it, okay, and then exit. So now that we've placed that in, you would have noticed that we had a config.json. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create that config.json. So let's head up to configs folder so that everything is neat and tidy. So here is, let me just quickly explain this. So this is what we're going to create next, is we're going to create this. And this is just it's a file that has all the information that you want to run on the server. So let's just, let's head over now and make this JSON file. Okay, so now we're going to make a new text file inside the config file folder, and it's going to be called config.json. So JSON is a type of database object language. I think it's based in JavaScript. So let's open this up. So to be able to open this up, you can either open it in a coding editor like I'm doing, or you can just open it up in Notepad++. Okay, but I like to be able to color things. So, and I do computer science at university. So this feels quite natural to me when using Notepad isn't natural. To be able to find the code that goes into the server JSON, the config.json here, we need to go to the link down in the description and it will bring up this. Okay, this is the community wiki, and you can see here that we have some of the ports that are available. Okay, you can see here that one of them I haven't opened, which is 19999. I don't know if it'll make a difference. So if we scroll down, all the way down, we'll go past all this stuff. You'll see these pictures. Okay, and then we will come to a very colorful code block. Here it is. And it's a template basically. And this is what our server JSON file will look like. And it's scary. It's scary. You look at it, man. That's a lot of code. Okay. It's scary. But we're going to work through it now so you can at least kind of understand what these things are. You can see here, the first thing we have is a bind address. But basically that's your computer IP. And so to be able to find your bind address, it's just your computer IP. And you can see there's two here. There's bind and a public. So one is your computer and then one is like your public IP. But to find your computer IP, you just need to go here and you need to go to command prompt. So to be able to get to command prompt, it's CMD. Okay, you can see it right there. Click. Okay, and anywhere, wherever you are, just type ipconfig. And then hit enter. I'm not going to do it because then I will reveal my personal IP, but this is what it looks like. it looks like this. And then you want to go to the IPv4 and take that. So our bind port is the next thing. Okay, so it says here that the default bind port is 2001. So let's use the default, okay? Because it's going to appreciate default rather than us making up our own. So we've already opened it, so there it is, 2001. Our public address is the address that is public facing. And to be able to find that, if you don't know what that is, it's quite easy to find. So there are websites all through the internet that will give you your public IP address. And let's go and see if we can find one. I think let's just Google one. I'm going to put let me just type this in real quick. Okay, so there we go. There's the top one right there. What is my IP address? Okay, and so we'll click on that and it will give you your IP. Again, I'm not going to show the world my IP, but you click on there and you will find your IP. Maybe we'll just type this in so that just for knowledge, just in case later in the video you want to sort of look back up as we're going through, just to remind yourself what's going on. So I'll just type this here. Okay, so our public port is 2001 also. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Let me just fix that. There we go. So public port. Okay, we'll just throw that in here. I should have done that. There we go. I did say I was going to do it. Okay, so A2S. A2S is just your public IP. So we'll just throw straight away. We'll just throw it in from the public address. And then the port that we need is 17777. Archon, so that's remote connection. So if anyone else wants to be an admin, you can give them that. So again, you want to place in your public IP, and then we're going to add the port 1999. Again, guys, I don't think I opened it in this tutorial, so make sure you go back and you open that port. Okay, so we then obviously need to add a password. So I've just put WillowSaysWhat 123. Actually, that's a stupid password. Nobody's going to be able to type that in. So we'll just put like Willow. Okay, guys, so permission is just to be able to monitor. So these are for people coming in. Okay, and then you can blacklist and whitelist people, players who are a problem by getting their Steam IDs. Okay, so now comes the fun stuff. So this is the game now. So this is the name of your server. So this is what people will see when they search or they are scrolling through the multiplayer servers. This is the name that people see. And then if you are a private server, you will need to add a password. If you're a public server, you can leave this blank. But for now, because we don't want people jumping in, we're going to put a password in. We will obviously need a password for admin. And then you can place in your admins. So in here, you will, if you have permissions for your moderators, can then access admin. This is the scenario ID is your game mode. So this is where you need to place the code and then the mission type that you want to play. Now, if you don't know what that is, these can be found in the same page that we've been looking at this whole time. We need to come back to this page and we need to scroll down until we find scenario ID. And if we click on these little buttons that are available on this page, you can see that a drop-down menu appears and you can see a whole bunch of game modes plus scenarios. And these codes will become very important to you as you start downloading mods, modified game modes and player-built, community-built game modes. You need to be able to find these on the internet. So they are everywhere. Sometimes they're on the Arma Reforger page, game mode pages. I'm sure there's some out there, but these are just the vanilla game modes. So to be able to play modded versions, you need to find these. The majority of the people creating game modes do provide this code for you. But for now, we're going to use a vanilla game code and we're going to place this into our JSON file. Okay guys, so I've just thrown that in there and I also changed the max players to 4. I believe Combat Ops Everon will allow you to have 6, so let's just throw in 6. visibility, yes, we want it to be visible in search. So the next thing we need to do now is game properties. So these are just things in the game that either allow for distance viewing, whether grass is on or not, can a person disable, can a person go into third person, and things like that. So let's, we got to put our server max distance view. So then it helps to, allows the server to run better if you limit the view distance. So let's just go 2.5K. Okay, minimum grass distance is like 50. And then network distance, that's like at what level of ping do we just stop people from seeing this? And we're just going to max it out at 1,000. So if someone has 999 ping, they can still see our server and they can still enter the server, but they're going to be a problem. But we're just going to leave it like that for now. I never disable third person because a lot of people love the third person in Arma Reforger, so we leave it on. And then the rest of it, we can just leave as it is. Now, we have no mods, so we can't really leave this here because it will just cause an error when we boot up the server. I will show you how to put mods on soon, but for now, we need to just get rid of this. Otherwise, it's just going to keep crashing the server. You know what? I'll give you a demonstration. I'll show you how like leaving this here and then removing it is a problem. So let's just start the server there. So the server just crashed. Okay. But if we go back into our file, okay, and just delete this, delete it. So I've shown you how like if you leave it there empty, the server has a problem with it. So because we're playing vanilla for now, we're just going to delete it. But that is important when you want to put mods on. So we'll just save it, and we'll just go back and we'll just execute the folder this now, and it should work. And you can always tell when it works is because it hangs like this. When it hangs like this, it means the server is waiting. It is done, it's loaded, and it's waiting. And so all we have to do now is just go and join the server. So let's go and join the server now. Okay, so what we're going to need to do to join the server is we need to take the name of our server and we need to search for it. Okay, so we go to multiplayer and then we want to search for our server. Okay. I think I might have done a spelling mistake in my name, probably in the JSON file. Yep, WillowSaysWhat. Classic Willow. Okay, so again, we're just going to post this in here so we can actually see it come up in, there it is, and it comes up in chat, in search, comes up in search. We have 6 people and there's 0 people on. So we just add our password. Okay, and then enter and then join because this is cross-platform. Okay, and then we go join. And we're loading into the server. And just remember guys, it's completely vanilla. So, because we have no mods and this is a vanilla game mode. And so this game mode is combat ops. So it's almost like anti-Stasi in Arma 3. So you are a resistance. So it should spawn inside a hideout, like a house. Okay, here's our spawn menu. And if I hit space, I should spawn straight into a barn. Okay, and there we are, we're inside the barn. And that's me wearing my independent uniform with lots of guns lying around. Okay, let's exit. Guys, if you're enjoying this so far, hit that like and subscribe, and it'll let me know that you need me to keep making these videos, because there's way more videos to come on how to make a server. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's add mods. To be able to find the code that goes into your mod, into your JSON, down here, what we need to do is we need to actually find the JSON code for each mod. So our JSON script can be found inside the workshop. And then what you want to do is you want to head up to the little jigsaw piece up the top. Yep, here it is. Okay. And you can make presets, guys, if that's something you want to do. It allows you to bring them up quicker. But here is your JSON. It's sitting, again, inside the jigsaw piece up the top. And you can copy this and paste it into your file. So again, if you If you don't know, you can also paste this into a Google Doc on your gaming computer and then access that on your server computer if you're working on different computers. So use the cloud to be able to access these, or you can type them out yourself. But what we want to do now is we want to paste it in here, and one of them is a game mode. So I'm just going to, I don't know why this is, yeah, we'll just delete this. There we go. Okay. And we'll just make that a little bit neater. I actually think mods might actually be in the wrong spot here. Let me just, yeah, I think I've got it in the wrong spot. It should go here. There we go. Okay, apologies guys. So make sure you correct that if you're following bit by bit. I did have my mods in the wrong spot. So let's just execute the server again. And now we have a mod. This is a map marker mod. It'll allow us to see where we are on the map. I've done it because it allows us to see immediately whether the mod worked or not. So we'll just jump back into the server. So there you go. You can see that it asks for a mod. Arma Reforger is good like that. All mods are public, and the game makes sure that all mods are available. And if they are not, they will download. So you don't even need to hand anybody a mod pack like in Arma 3. The person just joins the server, and if they do not have the mods, the game will automatically download them and they will load them up ready to go. So Arma Reforger in that sense is definitely an improvement. Okay, so let's spawn back into our barn, and then we'll go straight into the map and see whether we have the capability. So here we are. I always like to go into third person in here. Okay, so let's just open the map. And if we scroll in, you can see that I'm visible on the map. There I am, WillowSaysWhat. So there is one more thing that we were going to need to do before your friends can actually jump onto the server. So while you do this, make sure that you're on the server computer. So whether that be your gaming computer or you have a second computer that you have this on. Okay, you want to go to that computer, you want to go to Windows Defender. We want to go to Firewall. Okay, allow apps. Okay, so open here. We want to click on here. You want to go add. And then what to do is go to the folder that you've been working in with your server and just copy this address. Paste it in. Okay, add ArmaReforgerServer.exe and then hit OK or apply. And it will appear here. Once it's here, Windows Firewall will allow it to pass through the firewall unhindered, and this will allow people to also join the server. If you don't have this done, some of your community members or your friends will not be able to join the server, okay? Or it may not be visible. So make sure that you do this. So if something went wrong here, get down in the comments and let me know. But before you do that, make sure that your JSON file is exactly the same as mine. Now, if it's not working, go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to fix the problem with the JSON file, and it will probably solve the issue immediately.